Alright, response video to Pyro. He made a really irritating video. Not that most of his videos aren't irritating, but this one was really, really, really irritating. Preposterously irritating. So he's back on his relativistic morality crap, which is just that. I mean, it's completely inconsistent with everything he talks about in terms of social reforms. None of that's possible if everybody's allowed to be a relativist and worry about their own bullshit and have their own definition of what shit is worth shit. Somebody actually has to, somewhere people have to actually, step on one side of the fence or the other. If they keep walking the fence, they'll fall and die. We all lose. It's the lifeboat scenario. You just don't have the luxury of pretending, that everything's going to be okay. It doesn't matter what you do. No, it's critically important. All right? You're going to run out of water. Half the people on the boat have to go. You got to make the decision. The end. There's none of this crap of 4 million extra scenarios you're going to pile on top of the question. It's so ironic coming from a guy who's always talking about probability. Knowing probability is really great is in these very questions, these very circumstances, is to figure out, well, what's the likely reality? And the likely reality is that, terrorists didn't tie 4 people down on a railroad track so you'd kill an innocent man. That's not the likely scenario. The likely scenario is exactly as it appears. You have a choice. You have the power to make a rational choice in rational defense of a balanced, rational circumstance, getting the best out of a bad circumstance. And the best the best won't be accomplished unless somebody acts. You can't just sit on your ass and do your relativistic calculations. You got to act. You got to act reasonably and efficiently and expediently, and not considering phantasmagorical. Well, maybe I better figure out if there was a giant rabbit running the universe, what would the giant rabbit think was the right thing to do? No, that's bullshit. It's absolute nonsense. And you're going to keep giving it credibility, like humans should waste time considering what the giant rabbit, what its opinion might have been if it existed. In the magic land, it doesn't exist, but we're actually in. I mean, just such a pile of fucking goddamn shit. Just so stupid. There's no point in you getting into this conversation if you're going to pretend like there's nothing we can define. Like somehow it's all too ambiguous and individual for any kind of equation to be drawn up. We can't say brain tumors are bad. We can't say slavery's bad. We can't say anything about fucking anything because some fucktard might get off on it. I mean, that's just stupid. It's stupid to think that way. It's stupid to arrange the world that way. That's even more important. It's just a dumb equation. If by magic we get you back to 1940 whatever, and you have a chance to, you're having dinner with Adolf Hitler, if you don't stick your fork in his fucking forehead, you're a jackass. It's just that simple. Yes, it's a possibility the world will be worse off without poor old Adolf, but the probabilistic equation comes out to, no, we'd probably be better off if this fucker's dead. So you act. You don't sit on your hands and say, well, it was a good supper. I like my lobster thermidor. And Adolf is a pretty good conversationalist. No, you don't play that fucking game. Just so stupid. And this whole argument, you're stupid, convoluted now, messing up of the whole free will discussion, where now you've turned it into some kind of argument, like somehow somebody's arguing there's no such thing as will. You're just defending will now. You're not defending the notion of free will. Will outside the bounds of conditioning, controlling nature, desire. Come on, get with the real program here. You can't sit there and change the subject. The subject isn't the existence of will, and even if that was the subject, yeah, it could be a conversation there. Just as I would argue we are possessed by more than one will. I mean, my penis sort of does have a mind of its own, even though I don't count it as a full brain. It is there. So come on. You're trivializing turning the conversation into crap with all this convoluted mishmash. What's the truth of the circumstance? Are we addicts? Is desire an addiction? A scenario of addiction? And what's the merit of that addiction? What's the merit of satisfying it? What's the merit of creating it? And that will justify the risk and cost that it creates in the practical, real world. Not in your fairy tale. Not in your fairy tale world where people have rights. Not in your fairy tale world where people don't step on each other's toes. Not in your fairy tale world where there's unlimited energy because we, made a quantum geranium, that powers the fucking universe. No, in the real fucking world. How do you make that math add up? How do you make any asshole's decision to make excuses and rationalizations for perpetuating this crap. That's what this is about. And so all you are is another flag-waving, rawing little stupid fan in the goddamn stands saying, bring on the spectacular blood and guts. Let's see more of it. Rah, rah, rah. You're paying your money and buying your fucking jujubes, and fuck you. You're not doing anything philosophically interesting. You're just talking like a generic, Mother Nature possessed loony fucking tune. You're not applying any intelligence. You're not arguing intelligent arguments. You're just talking shit, convoluted mush, and distracting the conversation, breaking any time somebody comes up with a thought experiment. You break the fucking rules. You change the equation. It's not allowed. It's just bullshit, especially the way you do it, by completely ignoring probability. All of a sudden, probability is so fucking important on the quantum level, but somehow it loses all meaning on our level. Isn't that bizarre? Jesus Christ. So what else has to be said about his video? Just so bad, so fucking horribly bad video. There is an equation for this whole fucking game. I'll repeat my other video because it was goddamn brilliant. There's an equation for this whole game we're in. We're in a game, okay? There's no getting around it. We're in the life game. We're living fucking things, all right? And part of the cost of the life game is the nature game, okay? All these animals, the wild, raw game, all right? That's part of the cost. Part of the cost is world wars. Part of the cost is dying and disease. Part of the cost is being born broken. There's lots of costs involved in this game we're playing, all right? And the thing you have to do is come up with some sort of argument that explains how you getting your fucking jollies, waving your little flag in the stands, chewing your jujubes, sucking on your cherry coke, how somehow that makes it all worthwhile because we made Pyro fucking happy. It's all okay now because Pyro's content and comfortable. Fuck you. Fuck that bullshit. Come up with a goddamn logical argument, not a mush argument. Explain how the heroin addicts have a valid opinion, how they really know the heroin, and we're the ones missing it. We're missing how it's really worth it to just degrade yourself, humiliate yourself, spoil yourself physically, because it's really worth it, and we're just the fools for not realizing how much it's worth it. Yeah, right. Do that. You might as well. I mean, if you're going to rationalize this game, you might as well rationalize heroin. You might as well rationalize any possession, some manifestation of psychotic excessive desire that might manifest itself in a human being. Yeah, go for it. It's worth it. Yeah, so what? You get off killing 13-year-old girls? Go for it, damn it. You're entitled. It's just as good a desire as any other. I mean, it's just bullshit. And come up with some kind of pragmatic social contract? No, it's not a social contract violation. Yes, it is, explicitly. But that's irrelevant. We're talking about what's the real rules of the game. Not the broken social contract rules. The real underlying rules. The ones that define what is productive and what is destructive. The ones that define what has positive, real value and what has no value or negative value. Do the real math. And quit playing, quit putting your transparency of fake bullshit math on top of it and pretending like you're doing the real deal, because you're not. You're just rationalizing excuses to satisfy your own selfish, fucked up desires, and that's all. Whatever, it gets you off. Listen to some frogs croak or something. Fine, but just admit what it is. It's your psychology, all right? It's your psychology that comes up with some wacky equation that says that justifies, 16 chickens, having their guts ripped out when they're not quite dead. Or whatever your equation is for a value equation. But fuck you. Get to the real story, what this is made out of. This is carnage. This is cannibalism. Living things cannibalizing other living things, because that's what happens when you allow 2 billion years of sentient evolution on a fucking island. Alright? And there's nothing to glorify about the game, nothing to glorify about what has happened here and what is continuing to happen here. And it's not some sort of relative question. It's not have anything to do with what you want from your perspective, what your emotions tell you is good or bad. It's what you can intellectually describe. So go ahead, intellectually describe to me why all the other animals out there, their suffering doesn't matter. Explain to me why the suffering endured by most of the third world doesn't matter. That I don't have to worry about it. It's not part of the real math. Explain that. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. So whatever. Shitty video. Dumb, stupid, retarded video. I expect something like that out of some kind of 13-year-old who grew up in Ayn Rand's house or something. Fucking idiot. Selfishness is lose. Utilitarianism is the only way to look at your place in this fucking world. The only. You can't keep excusing the losses. And that's what people will keep doing. I mean, by your equation, people would have to personally be affected by everything. Well, goddamn it, that's not going to happen. Your child isn't going to die. Okay? It doesn't work that way. Somebody else's will do it. All right? You have to understand it. You have to appreciate it. But you're not going to feel it. Assholes.